start fill this to see. And if you have any question from anybody, also some general questions, you can either you can type it in chat, or if you say we can unmute, you can ask. So the agenda is like this session will continue for 1 hour, and then we'll start our closing ceremony, where we'll have mostly we'll talk about the summer schools, and about the certificate and the next steps. So those will be in the second session, and the first session will be handled by Mr. Santanu Kumar Patnaik. So if Santanu is ready, so may I request session chairs to start the session if Santanu is ready.
Yes, sir. So shall I start? Okay. So hello everyone, and welcome to the last session of this summer school program 2022. So this session will be on a career in AI/ML. So due to some inconvenient circumstances, Mr. Anjan Kumar Panda sir couldn't join the session. So Mr. Santanu Patnaik sir will carry this session. So I would like to take some time to give a brief introduction about him. Mr. Santanu Patnaik sir is the CEO of Sansaf Tech Service Private Limited India, the company which provides BI production support cloud service and data analytics service for small and medium enterprises. He also worked as a senior consultant to many organizations such as AP Group of Industries, Bangladesh, UEPL, Centurion, NHPC, and MMTC. He is a global leadership with 25 plus years of experience in technology, IT business initiatives, and entrepreneurship. He delivered many tech talks at international forums and conferences. He worked as a technology transfer guest lectures in Oman and Singapore, Sri Lanka, and as visiting faculty on emerging technologies at different Indian universities. He has completed MTech from Utkal University and a Oracle certified from Oracle Corporation. He has completed Master Diploma in Business Administration from SIMS, and also he has completed MCA from Utkal University. So now I sincerely welcome you to this session, sir. Now the stage is yours, so you may please proceed now.
Thank you so much, Saraswati, for the awesome introduction. Are we audible properly? Or,
yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes. Thank you. So, let me share my screen and give me a second. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
All right. So, this session I will discuss brief, give you a brief idea about your career, how to build up, how to plan your career in AI and ML. This topic is supposed to be discussed by Anjan, but whatever the reason, due to some reason couldn't join it, so I thought let me discuss it with you. As far as I can, I mean, being in this industry for a long time, dealing with both in IT support, both in technology services, as well as working with BI and AIML related projects. I have came through different HR technology activities, different career planning platforms. On that basis, whatever I can, let me share with you so that I think it should help you at least up to a minimal expenditure. So let's discuss about let's make it a interactive. That's not like typical type of presentation. So I'll tell you what exactly all these things means, how it is usually those who are new to this area, those who are planning to have a career in artificial intelligence and machine learning. I think it will help you. So as far as the concept is concerned, as far as this, give me a second. Is my slide moving? Yeah. Just a brief introduction about myself that already Saraswati has given it. So today we'll discuss about what exactly AIML means. We already thought that I don't need to discuss all these things in detail. We have already discussed it. We'll discuss about what are the career planning. We'll discuss about how do different startups they help to drive the growth in AIML. What are the skills you need to have a successful career in AIML and related queries. So when we talk about AI, that basically refers to a branch of science or branch of, you can say, computer science that helps us to solve complex problems. As you must be knowing, you have a typical cycle, typical process. We have data, we have informations. Data gets converted into information. Information gets converted into knowledge. Knowledge we implement in terms of intelligence. When we implement your knowledge, that's called intelligence. And we use intelligence in terms of decision making. And the decision making basically a process or method where you try to choose is best solution out of a set of solutions. That is how it works. The more data you have, you are more capable of taking right decisions, because the whole transformation of data ends into decision making. Data, information, knowledge, intelligence, and by using intelligence or implementing intelligence, you will take the right decision in a human-like fashion. So intelligence, when manufactured or synthesized by computers, we call it artificial intelligence because they are artificially synthesized, but used in human-like fashion. So that is why artificial intelligence is the basic way or the standard formative way to take rightful decisions. All right. So that is why artificial intelligence is the next generation technology, is the buzzword now. And we almost in every segment, we use artificial intelligence in terms of medical, in terms of finance, in terms of engineering, probably in all sectors of life, all sectors of business orientation, business activities, or organization day-to-day life, whether it's your in the personal life, in the personal professional life, artificial intelligence is everywhere. So that is why at this stage, being it's the future, being it's the core, we need to understand, we need to plan rightfully, choose a career plan in artificial intelligence. We are at a such a stage, we are in a transition stage from where we are now switching over to natural thinking to artificial thinking. The thinking technology, the thinking perception is getting changed. Taking some quotes of some successful persons, some successful entrepreneurs, some successful people in the society like Sundar Pichai, Barack Obama, Elon Musk, they all have dependent, they all have highly they talk very high about AI in terms of that being it's the main tool behind the new generation. Discoveries like driverless cars and disease detecting algorithms. Barack Obama, according to him, generalized AI is worth thinking about because it stretches our imaginations. Elon Musk's opinion about artificial intelligence, like vastly smarter than any human and would definitely overtake us by 2025. Jeff Bezos, I mean, as far as Amazon is concerned, everybody has their own opinion about artificial intelligence, and they have incorporated in their day-to-day, whether it's in the government or it's in terms of Google, Microsoft, everywhere. Artificial intelligence played a very important role in terms of almost all segments of it. So what exactly these things means? As I have already told you, the complete transformation process of data into decision-making purpose or decision support system, artificial intelligence is basically, it helps or it is used to train the final output of the machine, final output of the, or to emulate the human brain. When you try to emulate the human brain in terms of thinking, in terms of decision-making, and in order to use it, there are many such components are used, many such subsets are many such components that become a part of artificial intelligence. It's a complete system. It's a complete ecosystem. We have infrastructure. We need to have infrastructure. We need to have software tools. You need to have manpower. You need to have different tools and techniques. We need to have different methods. We need to have statistical methods. We need to have mathematical methods. We need to have software platform, hardware platform. So when you talk about AI, it's a complete ecosystem, complete set of parameters, and machine learning is one of them. So we need so it's not exactly machine learning is the only component of artificial intelligence. So anybody, any skilled person can fill himself into any part of this artificial intelligence scenario. All right. So it's up to you where you are best at. If you are good in statistical method, you can get into that. If you are into engineering perspective of it, if you are more into computer science, if you are more into statistical analysis, language processing, so it's up to you where you want to fit yourself or where you are best at. So that is why ML is the subset, one of the component of AI, and AI is the final output. And that goes through a lot of processes, as I have already told you in the life cycle, from data mining to data processing to data modeling and getting the final output. So it's a long way. It's a standardized platform, or it's a process, and the process is continuous. It's up to the user, it's up to the developer where you want to get fit himself. All right, so that is why artificial intelligence, that's why we call it, as you all must be aware of, that is why this is the industry 4.0. Okay, data analytics, data science was earlier, that was industry 3.0, whereas AI and machine learning is basically referring to the industry 4.0. Because breakdown of industrial development and great changes in related categories, that helps to completely change the trend of the new industry. Like already, if you have already I have told you, that is starting from industry 1.0, industry 2.0, industry 3.0 and its timeline. This is where we basically fit ourselves, and at 2015, 2050, that is the age of artificial intelligence, which we refer to industry 4.0. And that is how it has revolutionized the complete system of computing science or computation methods. So get yourself prepared, get yourself equipped with different tools and techniques of, and we need to be a part of the journey of artificial intelligence or AI and ML. All right. So give me a second. All right. Now, as you all must be knowing, let me give a fair idea about where do we basically use artificial intelligence or machine learning activities or machine learning techniques. Basically, all those, as I have already told you, different industries use it in a different perspective, whether it's automobile industry, whether it's machine learning, medicine, it's finance, in insurance, in banking, wherever computings are involved, computing techniques, computing methods are involved, AI and ML comes into a great support. Some of the examples are like Tesla and all that, automated customer supports. Different organizations use Customer support, use it for like your retail market, retail chains, all those retail chains to understand the customer psychology, to understand the customer sentiment, product, to manage the product inventory, to understand the logistic management, to understand the supply and demand and supply techniques. They all use AI/ML. In starting from customer interaction, from chatbots to other ways of understood logistic management also. So nowadays, that is why, for example, that is I've already told you, in case of automated customer supports, chatbots are replacing inquiry persons, or you can say front desk people. They use the idea behind it to increase user attention by sending reminders and notifications, instant answers. 24/7 customer support. They more accurate, more authentic, and without getting tired. 24/7 you can interact with any company, any organization, or any service providers, irrespective of the time, irrespective of the day, irrespective of the length of your discussion. You can interact with those companies. So customer support became automated, well, definitely with a personalized approach. Similarly, other areas like different your shopping experience, for example. Implementation of AI is extensively into different customer or different online stores, like extensively into e-commerce. That by using AI, organization try to understand or try to retain every bit of data to the customers behavioral pattern, the customer's payment pattern, customer psychology, customer sentiment, customers requirements, more customized, more specific. Even if the smallest piece of data about every customer, every product is being stored by the organization, and it helps to, even if in terms of customer relationship management, they try to send information about their products, about their services, that helps the business to take it to the next level, takes into the personalized your experience. Similarly, other areas, like I'm just giving you some ideas of where we basically use, what are the industries where AI/ML professionals can fit themselves. In case of healthcare, AI-enabled workflow assistants, they help doctors to fix their schedules, reducing time, to streamline the complete process of treatment, the diagnostic methods, to understand the disease, the small piece of variations. In case of, you must have seen the role of artificial intelligence and ML in terms of, particularly in data science in this pandemic time. The predictive analysis, the help in case of development of analyzing those vaccines, and all AI-powered technology help all those pathologists in analyzing tissue samples, viruses, or making more accurate diagnosis, and to have projections, different projected your predictive analysis. So that is where artificial intelligence or AI can be used in terms of healthcare, in finance, automated advisor in case of banks, in case of financial institutions, in stock market, to be capable of predicting the best portfolio or stock-based preferences, for credit card management, for loan management, all actionable reports based on the financial data, and also being generated by having customer profiles or setting up millions of customer profiles with use of key data points. So there are certain areas, these are some areas where basically we try to use artificial intelligence, or industry use artificial intelligence. Automobile companies, drone companies, where they use delivering the shipments, significant amount. Nowadays, for example, Government of India is planning to use drones, and particularly in retail markets. There was a drone fair earlier also. So autonomous vehicles, drones, that will help people to use or reduce the load of transportation and service related issues, which can be resolved faster, more effectively. All right. Similarly, in terms of travel and navigation, mapping your GPS. All right. AI-enabled mapping, it scan roads, information, and utilizes those algorithms in the traffic situation, the climatic situation, helps us to find out the best route, optimal routes. Okay, whether it's a bike or a car or a train or a foot, this AI-enabled GPS or technology helps to navigate the passenger from one place to another. So these are other areas, and the most demanding area of AML nowadays is social media. Irrespective of the type of social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's like Insta or LinkedIn, all of them, they extensively use advanced machine learning techniques to do everything from content management to face recognition to customize user profiles to target user advertisements. Okay, it's one of the widely used or highly used area in Instagram. They use for identify visuals, to identify fake news, to identify different provoking news, or they are using nowadays for the content management in terms of identifying what are objectionable, what are non-objectionables. LinkedIn use it in terms of job recommendations, okay, or helps you to analyzing your profile and so that where who can be your possible links. So to offer job recommendations, people you might like. So they all are one of the another extensive users of AI. Your smart home, like for example, your Alexa, smart lights, smartphones, okay, connected devices with smartphones, extensive use of IoT in terms of artificial intelligence. They provide data and AI learns from all those data and it performs certain tasks without human intervention. Developing a smart office, a smart home, okay, connecting device to device. So it brings nowadays instead of a human talking to another human, a human can talk to a device. Or in fact, in some cases, particularly in terms of IoT, you make them enable device talking to another device. So it has, dismantled the barrier between human to machine or machine to machine. Anyone can interact with anyone. Cross-platform communication systems. Cross-platform communications. Creative arts, like musicians, like visual artists, they use AI-powered technology to create new themes, new lighting system, new music. All your auto tuners to auto laser shows, laser mapping techniques of different visuals in movie, in theaters. That is another way of using AI. Security and surveillance. Okay, in terms of communication, in terms of standardized approach of starting from AI marketing. In terms of your CCTV analysis, or you can say visual analysis, face recognition systems. Okay, so constantly monitoring. In fact, that is the best way to nowadays security and surveillance is your real-time analysis or real-time artificial intelligence, where it constantly monitor a human activity in multiple channels and with the feeds and identify what is going to happen in terms of fraud detection systems, in terms of security surveillance, in terms of cyber forensics. So that is another way of looking at AI also. So these are some of the industries, those who recruit, those who use AI and ML extensively. One of the, for example, Sophia is the first, as most of you must be knowing, the AI humanoid developed by a Hong Kong-based company, Hanson Robotics. Okay, so that is how we are at a stage where we can make humanoids, and they will come when you say, there will be hardly any difference between a AI-powered robot extensively, which can behave almost like a human. Now, as far as, let's come to this point, as far as career in AI, please try to understand there should not be a notion that only a specific class of people or a specific segment of people can have a career in AI and ML. There are different way or different segments, different stages, or professionals can fit themselves at different part of AI ecosystems. Okay, so the point here is, the scope here is to developing the machine in game playing, starting from game playing to speech recognition, in terms of language detection machines, in terms of computer vision, expert system, robotics, and many more. Different segment or different aspect of industries can have their own product or own services. It's how you choose one of them according to our skill set. And according to IDC, that is International Data Corporation, one of the, that is worldwide AI guide. Spending on AI systems for industry or spending on AI systems will accelerate over next several years as organizations deploy AI as a part of their digital transformations. Most of the organizations, previous when we were discussing about Dr. Damodar sir from Wipro, we are discussing that part. The organization have to deploy AI as their part of their digital transformation. You need to transform the traditional form of industry or the traditional computing process to AI based. That efforts to remain competitive in digital economy. Otherwise, you will be left behind. So industry nowadays spending as much as they can is a significant part of their budget in AI to transform their whole activity in a digital. Whether it's data collection, customer data management, to their HR, to their marketing, to their finance, everywhere they try to use AI or data analytics. And global spending of AI, if you talk about, that doubled over next 4 years. That is almost by 2020, it was 50.1 billion. And it will be by 2024, it will be almost $110 billion. So on that perspective, you can imagine where the industry is moving and why understanding or why choosing a career in AI/ML is so important. All right, and the avenues where we can look at as a professional, look at our industries where most of our professional, when you look at around yourself, are fit themselves to, whether in terms of AI professionals, in terms of ML professionals. It can be hospital and medicine, where the avenues could be game playing or game developments, speech recognition systems like understanding natural language, like like Dr. Shantipriya, they are working on NLP, computer vision, cyber security, face recognition, transport, marketing and advertisement. So these are the avenues where a professional can fit themselves. If you can plan your career to be or to understand more about these industries, or to understand how AI/ML is used in this industry and which way, what are the prospective, who are the prospective users, and what are the areas or platforms they are using. Let me give you a comparison between India and abroad as far as AI avenues are concerned. Okay, for example, AI here in India particularly, AI is extensively used in most of the cases, most of the healthcare industries, they are using it. Like medical diagnosis, in stock trading, particularly nowadays, most of the stock trading startups, particularly stock trading, different companies like Grow, different Shark, and they all are into now AI-enabled stock trading apps or sites, robotics, and scientific discovery. So these are the areas in India mostly nowadays prominent. They are the prominent users of AI. And as far as the background is concerned, different government organizations, they are also recruiting AI people, like particularly in ISRO and ISRO in Odisha, and in Indian perspective also. Usually, a engineering graduate or engineering postgraduate in AI/ML, there are a lot of scopes in ISRO also. Okay, these different microchip companies, manufacturers like Intel, like IBM, like HCL, like Infosys, those are in product and service-based industries. They also recruit different B and M Tech, particularly in terms of, and MCH of course, in as far as AI/ML related activities are concerned. IIT is giving, research in AI and robotics also. Particularly, they are also offering different specialized course on AI/ML. And Indian Institute of Biology, they offers a specific research and AI and robotics as far as bioinformatics or bioinformatics is concerned and genetic engineering. And some of the AI jobs basically machine learning engineer, data scientist. Those are some of the positions as far as AI is concerned. Some of the positions are like machine learning engineer or ML engineer, data scientists, business intelligence developer, research and scientist, and AI engineers. Please try to understand when you refer to AI, ML, and there is another basic area of data analytics. So that is how it gradually grows. So let's not get confused into that. Analytics is the first stage to build up a career of AI. So when we refer to AI jobs, that basically refer to one of more mature stage of interacting with it or to understand it. So somewhere it's like ML engineer, or it can be a data scientist, it can be a BI developer, research scientist, and AI engineer. But in order to handle all these things, the professional or the user or the developer should have a good understanding of data science in terms of decision making, a good understanding of the related branch, whether it's statistics, whether it's mathematics, whether it's understanding of data science in detailed databases, or in terms of different computing techniques, tools and methods also. And if you talk about career in abroad, Intel, NASA, other US tech companies, they spend over almost 1 billion by 2020 in the process of poaching AI talent from all over the world. And India, one of the most favorite hunting place. Okay, and UK's demand of AI skills has been growing much more than US, Canada, and Australia. They are also into that. And India is one of the most widely discussed area where we have talented or capable professionals, those who are working in different countries like US and UK. All right, so and please try to understand, please remember what's biggest companies heavily rely on AI and ML. Because I'll give you an example of some companies, those who are into it, like Amazon, like IBM, like Microsoft, Anduril, Siemens, Suki, okay, Certis, Alibaba, Nvidia, Orbital Insight. These are some of the companies, those who are extensively into AI ML related projects. Or they're relying on AI professionals or AI ML professionals where you can work with. And these are all global microchips companies. Tencent, Factoron, Defined Crowd, Vision, DeepSeek, directly, all these companies. Okay? Give me a second if any questions on this. All right. Okay, some of the companies, and if you talk about the classification of, talk about the segment of AI companies, AI ML companies are concerned, those who use basically what the segments of the industry, those who are using AI ML, those companies working with BI, they use AI people in terms of productivity, or terms of customer management, in terms of HR and talents, okay, B2B sales, consumer marketing, finance and operations, digital commerce, e-commerce, data science, engineering, security and risk management. So these are the areas where they try to use AI and ML. All right. So it's a by 2002. These are some of the prominent companies. Jinka data we have already taken in particularly 2020. Like segments, if you analyze these companies in terms of segments, then that is something like healthcare. Some of the companies of healthcare, these are some of the areas I think it is visible. Okay, in constructions, in analysis, in retail and warehousing. Okay, government and city planning organizations, media and entertainment, education, manufacturing. Cross industry, there are many organizations, those who are working with cross industry techniques or technology. That is like AI processors. These are the areas. So that is how you can segregate those or classify this industry, those who are into AI. In terms of healthcare, in terms of construction, okay, or in terms of other areas like transportation, finance and insurance, okay, and cross-industry techniques, those who basically AI enablers. Please remember, when I talk about cross-industry technology, that basically refers to AI, those who are AI enablers, those who make the organization or provide services or provide products or design products to different AI companies. That is AI processors, companies like Syntrian, okay, GraphCore, Xanadu, or organizations those who work with NLP and NLG and computer vision like Primer, like Serpa AI, Affectiva, all right. Sales and CRM, for example, Cresta, AI model development, cyber security, okay, DevOps and model monitoring, BI and Ops, and other R&D companies. So that is how, if you specific or you could more super specialized domains if you refer to, these are the areas where you can plan the career can be more streamlined depending upon your expertise area. All right. Okay. So now question is, when we refer to in the first session today, when we discussed about startup ecosystems or ecosystems of industry ecosystems, how AI ML being a driving force to different growth, growth of startups. All this, the whole startup ecosystem not only in India but also in abroad, they have been nourished or they have been developed or they have been powered by different in the advent of technology, and that has been given rise to more evolved business processes, AI enabled business processes, in terms of data collection, in terms of methodology, in terms of data processing, in terms of product development, in terms of communication, in terms of understanding the objective. AI help them or nourish them to advent of technology, and that help them to evolve their business processes more rapidly. And nowadays, irrespective of the processes, like whether it's logistic, accounts or marketing, team performance, and HR, everything, most of the activities, they are all been supported by different AI tools and techniques. That is why startups become more, in terms of growth, they immediately capture the market, and the processes or the activities become 100 times faster than the traditional ones. And with the rising of these technologies, all those AI-enabled technologies like AI, IoT, and ML, all these things areas, they change the face of the small-scale enterprises and startups, because that help them to, that limited, make them to budget the things in a very prospective way. They don't have to invest a lot. They have to, in order to manage their manpower, most of the things have been captured by different non-traditional way of working on it. Okay, in terms of data capturing, in terms of data processing, in terms of validating the data, in terms of model building. So all these tools and techniques, AI techniques, that change the complete scenario of small scale enterprise and other startups. That is why they are so much successful. And as far as in the beginning, I have told you, you don't have to be an engineer, or you don't have to be a technocrat to be a AI/ML professional. The basic things we need to be, in order to be a basic skills, you can say, for AI/ML professional, you require an analytical bent of mind, analytical thought process. That is the first thing you need to understand. You need to analyze everything, or the bent of mind should be having an analytical. You should have an analytical thought process and the ability to solve problems with in an optimized way. Optimized solution, providing an optimal solution, or solving any problem with a cost-effective and efficient solution is the key word, or the key activities for this. As I have already told you, decision making means taking the best decision or taking the best solution out of a set of solutions. So in making it cost effective is one of the biggest parameter in order to solve a problem or efficiently solving a problem. So professionals need technical skills for that, relevant technical skills to design, to maintain, to repair, both in terms of hardware and software infrastructure. So where you have to fit yourself, that is, you have to plan it out. So technical skills, analytical thought process, and most importantly, the academic background. The academic background or the subjects you need to choose, that has to be relevant to data science. So educational qualification in terms of some qualifiers are there, and you can say some foundation subjects has to be there in terms of maths, in terms of technology, like understanding of engineering some engineering technology or computer science technologies, like in understanding of some languages, some tools, some conceptual technique tools like understanding of bit of processing technique, network technologies, data science, data architecture, databases, okay, and in the engineering perspective. And you should be skilled enough or conceptually clear as far as hands-on practices are there. So skill-based projects will be one of the biggest qualifier or enabler for the professionals to be a part of the data science. So cognitive science in terms of skills has to be one of the key parameters. So analytical thought process, technical skill, educational qualification in terms of some basic qualifications, basic tools or subjects has to be a big yes, and the cognitive science skills. Okay, that is the hands-on practices. Okay, so this is what are the I supposed to discuss. And as far as the conclusion aspect is concerned, for every AI aspirant, make it sure, please keep it in mind. This is one of the, that is why we have conducted this program. In terms of, not only in terms of Odisha, but also in terms of, nationally or internationally. So as an AI intelligence aspirant, you have to make it sure, you keep it in your mind that ample of job opportunities are available. Ample of job opportunities. There is a huge gap in demand and supply ratio in this field. And AI will definitely transform the global economy, and all AI jobs are high in demand nowadays. All are, high paying areas. As I have already told you, according to IDC, the number of AI jobs is expected to grow or globally grow 16% this year. So you can, because last 2 years, almost the jobs are restricted to, because again, the pattern of HR also has been changed, whether you work from home or work from industry. So that is why the different segments, the AI jobs is expected to globally grow 16% of this year. And AI careers are future proof, means that is the future. It's not slowing down. So they are like to survive well into future. It's not coming or it's not slowing down. There will be no such recession on it. And getting an education on AI is challenging and requires, as I have already told you, persistent and personal initiative. Rather than colleges, rather than institutions, it requires consistent working method, process of need to work on it, on the process of projects, clarity on subjects, having a computational skill, logical bent of mind, and the biggest factor is you need to have a good mentorship with a thorough professional. So that needs your personal initiative. That is one of the part. So that is what I was a quickie representation from me, from giving a fair idea on it. Hope I have been able to clear a slightly doubt. Now we can open for any discussion, any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Santanu. I think it's a very interesting discussion. So now I will request session3 to take over, and if anybody has any question, they can feel free to ask. We can, or they can chat it or ask. We'll unmute you.
So I would like request to the participant if someone have any question to ask, so they can. There is a question from Satyajit. How real-time analytics are driving enterprise level decision for serving end customers?
See, when you talk about real-time analytics, that is basically refers to data which has been collected at real time. Usually, when you refer to data analytics, that is used, or data science, when you use it in terms of AI, they're all legacy data or data which has already been collected. Based upon those data, we try to make a projective or make a predictive analysis or any sort of analytics. But real-time analytics will help you taking decision much more faster, much more in terms of real time, because their data is, I mean, as fresh as new. Like for example, in case of crime detection, in terms of financial, of capturing financial fraud, capturing cyber security crimes. For example, at the ATM itself, it will detect whether it's a fraud transaction or not. At the bank itself, depending upon the customer's way of interaction with the bank, the way of withdraw money from the ATM, or in terms of in fact, in case of real time, it will help to the doctors to diagnose the disease or to take a right decision at the instant decision, depending upon the data instantly collected from patients' vital parameters. What should be the, like, usually all, instead of those pathological or healthcare diagnostic data are comparatively older when it goes to the doctor. But remember, real-time analytics will help you taking decisions much more faster. And when AI-enabled devices or AI-enabled diagnostic systems, it instantly predict whether the person is going to have a heart attack or not. Whether this type of cash withdrawal tends to criminality or not. Similarly, in case of stock market, instead of marketing, in terms of analyzing demand and supply ratio, in case of retail chains. So that will help. It will be definitely a driving force for all enterprise to taking decision much more faster, or taking instant decisions based upon the real-time data. So that will definitely, one of the key word, or that will be key help method for all those. Driving force not only for the enterprises but also for the customers who instantly taking instant decision without waiting. With the real-time data. So that will help us. So many such startups are coming up, those who work on real-time data, like based upon particularly in terms of where you need instant analysis for a particular data, or in terms of financial segment and healthcare. These are the two areas where real-time analytics plays a very important role. See, product-based AI system development challenges are basically the most important thing is the infrastructural cost. Number one. Number two, that is like too much of AI. So with the product innovation, and these things should be customer centric. In our today's earlier session, we are discussing on that. Irrespective whether it's a product or the service, AI system has to be customer centric, consumer centric, as well as it should be within, and it should not be very much. It should fit to the budget. It should, and most importantly, it should be cross-platform usable. That is the most important area. So that is a product-based. All AI systems should be more customer-centric rather than organization-centric. So customer psychology or customers demand that plays a very important role. And challenges are mostly challenges are your the innovations and the infrastructural expenditure. So That is what, in my opinion, these are the two challenges as far as new entrepreneurs and startup. More facilitations are required, more government policy-based clearances are needed, as well as trained manpower and skilled manpower. I mean, skill set is more important here. I hope I will agree. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sarkozy.
So is there any other questions? Sir, I think there is no more questions left.
All right.
So I think our next session will be start. So maybe we can continue. So I think it will be another immediately 5 minutes. It will be there. And before that, yeah. So if anybody has any questions, like general questions or anything technical,
you can go for any general questions. So
yeah, we can about the summer school or anything. So we can address before that, because I found it will be now already we have about to start the next session. So we are just waiting for all the hosts to join. So let's again, thanks to Santanu. I think it is very interesting session about knowing the careers in AI and ML, because previous sessions although we talked about a lot about the technical details, but for students I think this is more interesting to know about what are the careers are there, particularly in AI and ML. And I think definitely it will be helpful for all the participants. And now I think already we have reached to the time, so maybe I'll request Samanoja Babu, if already he joined, he can take over the session there. And also again, thanks to Saraswati Kallade madam for the session chair. I think they have done a very good job.
Thank you, sir.
So I'll request Santanu Babu, you can make Samanoja Babu co-host. And,
yeah.
Sir, Kalyani Madini ma'am is unable to unmute herself. So,
okay.
Give me a second. Yes, ma'am. Now okay.
Okay. Now I can speak. Yeah, right. All right. Thank you all. Yeah.
So thank you, madam.
Yeah, thank you. It is a very interesting talk for students. Yeah, very good.
So now hopefully Samanoja will co-host now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Dr. Shanti Priya, and Namaskar and Jai Jagannath. Thanks for this privileged opportunity to be part of this session. I have been listening to the last session. In fact, it is a very logical thing that once you have the skills, then you should know the opportunity. In fact, it also could be the other way. In fact, more effective the other way. If you know the opportunity, then you build the skills. So it is a so if other speakers are there, I think let's start the session formally. Once again, welcome to everyone to this session, which is the concluding session. The name concluding should not confuse you. This is actually the beginning. This is beginning of a great journey, and this is just the concluding session of the first very important milestone in this great journey. So as many of you know, it started on 18 June, and we are concluding this program. I'm re-emphasizing that this program, the journey has just begun. This program today on 2nd of July, a day after what is arguably the most important festival for Odiyas, the Rath Yatra. So as we know, everyone is talking of exploiting the AI opportunity, AI ML opportunity, right from applications, right from policy making. We have a lot of discussion about it in all levels, not just in India or in the private company, but also in multilateral agencies like World Economic Forum, WTO, even United Nations. But all this is nothing without the skills available. Even now, the things which have been there since long. Look at security. Look at I am a technology editor. I do that for my living. I see that the most important challenge, even today, CIOs, CISOs, that is the Chief Information Service Office, CTOs in startups are facing is talent. And unlike the IT industry, it is not about numbers and the factory. It is about specific skills, and that is where any CTO, we are doing an event, and then I was asking each and every CTO, some 13 of them, without exception, told that the number one challenge is talent. And so it is a good step that we have started this summer school. I think it will go, I'll not say this program itself will go a long way, but I think this program will go a long way in making this a movement, and probably this movement will go a long way in making Odisha and Odiyas tap the opportunity that is AI and ML. So with just this basic intro, I would like to invite, we should listen from, the wise people who are here. Professor Colonel Aditya Parida. He is, what I should say, he is a Jnana Yogi, a Karma Yogi, and is excellent in Bhakti Yoga. And what I mean by that is, he is a professor. So Gyan doesn't require any explanation. And the way he has done, he has been army veteran. So, and the way he has managed the entire project. And why I add the emotion aspect, Bhakti, because his Bhakti and his emotional attachment to the cause of Odisha and Odia is unparalleled. I was, if I have to say, point out anything, despite his illustrious CV, I would say that this is probably the most important highlight. It comes out when he talks. So he is a quick bio. He is an army veteran. He has worked 23 years as an operation maintenance engineer in Indian Army and retired as a director, management studies at Army headquarters. And he has also taught in master's PhD courses, and then in his second innings of his career, and research for several Swedish National Research Foundation industries for European research projects, European Union research projects. He has been a visiting professor for a number of universities in Sweden, Japan, Finland, and India. And he has been our guiding force in this effort. That's probably the most important thing as far as this summer school is concerned. So over to you, Karmi Pavla. He is on mute.
Santanu, can you unmute me and
Yeah, now we can hear you. Please go.
You are audible, sir.
yeah. Oh, can you hear me properly, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Samanaja Babu. It was very nice and kind of you. But what I will like to tell is where Santanu Babu was discussing. You all have been discussing about the AI, ML, and at a IT and at a NLP and that level. I will try to give you some practical example what is happening here, especially in the engineering field. Like I remember when I came around 2008 for the Swedish Railroad, we had already laser tracking, we had sensors, we had photography. So then we have a very important coal mining, iron ore mining, which comes from 340 kilometers from here to Luleå to the harbor. And it is a dedicated line. So when the trains are coming, we have the monitoring stations. And data used to be collected in the real time. I'm speaking to you about 18 years back, which is in practice. Data used to be collected, vibration level is online measured, and then it will say which bogie, the bogie wheels is having problem, because if the bogie wheels is not taken, the wagons can topple. And so immediately what will happen is immediate action is taken. Next station, train will be stopped, alarm will go automatically, and that particular bogie will be removed and the train will continue. That's how the whole thing started. I still remember that was about 18 years back. Then we started with the mining and hydropower companies, where we started collecting data in the real time. And data were so enormous, we have to have cloud computing, and you used to call it e-maintenance lab. And predictive analytics is done on the real time. And depending on the customer's requirement. For example, let's say in the harbor, there is a ship waiting. And if in right time, if the production is not met in right time, if it is not transported, the demurrage cost is very huge. So it is directly linked with the customer. So depending on the customer's requirement, the production and the logistic support, everything is related. So let's say the machine is performing at the 80% of efficiency or at 50% of the efficiency. But the manager will say, no, the ship is waiting, we cannot delay. Let us produce this, meet the requirement, then only we can go for repair or maintenance. So these are practical things which I have seen really happening, and not now. I'm speaking about 8, 10, 12 years back. And as you all know, in 2014, GE started the, machine to machine talk. Like you talk to the machine, you say, okay, how you're feeling today? The machine will say, which is part of Industry 4.0, as you all know. So it started about 8 years back. It is already in there. And then we are also in the operation and maintenance area. We have the digital twin. Like today, you have a machine. It is very complicated machine. Now to open and see the thing will be different. So what you can do is you can have a digital machine, which we call a digital twin. And from there, you can put you can vary the various parameters. And you can see, okay, if I overload, how the machine is going to work and all those things. So all these have become today very much predictive analytics, AI, ML, and now things are really, really changing. I don't know. I mean, I have just given you few examples, especially those who are from the engineering background and listening to me. So now coming to the this session, as Samanaja was said, we started this summer training school. The journey started somewhere in 16th of April after the first webinar on AI/ML. And then, of course, we started preparing one 12-month roadmap, and the summer school was the first thing which we started. And as he said rightly, for the students, it is just the beginning. We intend doing it much more. And once you get into it, because AIML is the future of all technology and for all industry and for all organization. Even I'll put it that for the whole mankind, because technology is changing so fast, and what is valid today, it is not valid tomorrow. So all my young friends and those who are in this AIML professionals, if you're not keeping up to date with the technology, you will be outdated. Somebody else is going to take over. So this is just the beginning platform, and you have to take a deep dive into it and explore as much as possible, as much as you can learn, and as much as you can build up in your career. So, and as I told you, and today I was listening to Dr. Damdar Shah. He said very nicely 3 things. There are 3 Ds. You have to have knowledge so that it is the AIML dominates. It is dominating. So we have to. Then it has to disrupt. So you have to gain so much knowledge that it is going to affect not only millions, billions. And you have to be different than others. So you must understand in this, during this course of the summer school, you have now learned what are the various avenues, what are the various techniques, tools and technology, and how things are developing, and where all there is a scope. And as you have seen, we had great teachers with a lot of skills and experience. And I can assure you, no book can give you this sort of knowledge and experience. And you have to gain and exploit maximum. And secondly, as we all, even Samanujo has said, and I'm saying, this is an opportunity. AIML is the future, and this is an opportunity. An opportunity comes once in lifetime. So either, like Churchill says, opportunity comes once in lifetime. It gives you a subtle knock. You have to understand it, grab it, and move ahead with it. So please don't lose the opportunity. See, as even Shantanu was saying, AI, ML is a part of AI, and it's a very vast subject. Nobody can be expert in everything. You have to select your own field, and you have to grow, you have to move in that, and you have to become an expert. Because like in medical term, you have the specialization, super specialization, and super specialization. AIML is subsequently going to become like that. You have to not only specialize in ML, you have to do super specialization, and maybe because things are moving in such vast way, whether it is robotic, whether it is a drone, whether it is digital twin, whether it is machine learning, machine to machine language, or machine to machine speaking, operator to machine talking. On real time, everything is happening today. And this needs lot and lot of knowledge, technology, and it will grow further. It will grow further. So please don't lose this opportunity. Adopt the technology, move ahead with the time, and then only you can really achieve. You can do full justice to yourself, and then when you do full justice to yourself, to your professional career, and then only you can do something for others. And that's where we want. And we are very happy. And it gives me immense pleasure that as, all my colleagues in this AIML, OCF, and ODISHA ML collaboration where we have worked together, whether it is the program committee, whether it is the teachers, whether it is, they're all leader by themselves. And I'm very happy to be associated with the program committee and to contribute a little bit whatever I could in finalizing, and it gives immense pleasure that what we planned and what we started, what we achieved that by completion of this first summer school in AIML. And I wish and I hope all the participants are going to get benefit out of it, and they are going to build their career and do immense service or support to the society. And also, please don't forget, because we will be doing, we have now a lot of resources, experts, so we'll be conducting regular webinars. Don't forget to attend those. And also, you must spread a word among all other of your friends and students that they should try to learn as much as possible, because more such session will be continuing. And also we are also trying for the faculty development program and things like that. So it is going on very well, and I'm very happy and thankful to all my program committee members and all the teachers, mentors, those who are associated with this initiative. And I look forward to much more such initiatives, such activities, such summer training program for the students and for the faculty and for others through the webinars. So with this, I would like to thank you all, wish you all the very best, and wish you all a very successful career. And Bande Utkal Janani, Jai Jagannath.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your inspiring words, and very, very true. The way you have articulated specifics as well as the overall inspiring words that we ended with. So without taking much time, let me invite Mr. Santanu Patnaik to make a presentation summarizing how this program was. And yeah, so Mr. Patnaik, and I'll just give a little brief. Since you have already met in many times in the program, I'll briefly introduce. He is the co-founder and CEO of Sons of Tech Services Private Limited, based in New Delhi. He has is an MTech from Utkal University, MBA from SIMS, and MCA from Utkal University, and a visiting faculty on emerging technology in various Indian universities. He has also authored books and articles on information system management and IT. Over to you, Mr. Patnaik.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So definitely, it's a nostalgic moment for me, because I still remember the day Aditya sir, Santipriya sir, and we have discussed how to go about it, and we have done it, and we have completed the first summer school program. And after saying that, let me take you the journey from where we have started and how we have reached. Let's thank to all those mentors, to all those participants, those who have contributed, those who have played key roles in their own capacity. So initially it was this AIML summer school. So we have started it on June 18th, organized both Association of Odisha Basic Learning and OCF, that is ODISHA Corporate Foundation. We have discussed about all these things, our vision, what was the goal about summer school. We have the vote of thanks for all those who are organizers, the sponsors, the keynote lectures, mentors, session chairs, volunteers, participants, and all the other things. Our vision was to basically nurture ODI ecosystem in making a vibrant Odisha. The idea to make Odisha a hub of AIML as the capital of the world in terms of AIML. And the goal is to empower our next generation, from job seeker to job provider, faculties, those who want to give back to Odisha for its development through the 12 months roadmap, as Aditya sir told, with our AIML initiative. And that is upset. Then if you talk about how we have planned the concept of AIML summer school, It was part of a 12-month roadmap, activities initiated by both OCF and ODIML team. And probably, as far as my knowledge is concerned, it's first in kinds of Odisha for the students, which absolutely free and in terms of registration. And we have global faculties, global experts. The idea behind it to make this summer school to provide next generation participant with best classroom training, direct, I mean, from those industry experts, those who are really from the industries with their vast expertise, broad range of advanced topics and developments in AI, ML, including deep learning, NLP. They have proved themselves globally, not only in India, but globally also, working in core projects. And the most important thing here is the course curriculum was designed from those experts in themselves. Okay, from the domain experts. It was designed from experts from OCF, ODIML core team members. I'll tell you, I'll introduce one by one who are all they. All those actors behind curtain, all those brains behind this program. So, and the participating institutions, those who, in terms of their students, in terms of their faculty, that is IIIT Bhubaneswar, IIT Chennai, VSSUT Burla, VSCT Bhubaneswar, OSAC, Amity University, Utkal University, Kalam Institute of Technology, Institute of Mathematics and Application Bhubaneswar, iDream, who played a very key role, I mean, important role, and IISER Berhampur also. They are all the participant institutions and the sponsors and partners for this program. Was organized by OCF and ODIs in machine learning with their industrial partners, iDream, and Engineers Without Borders from Finland and Sansoftech. And the brain or the program committee, the formulations, the design, the planning was done by some of them. They are not present today. We really miss them. But in the driving seat, the commander of our team is Professor Colonel Aditya Parida sir, to whom you have listened sometime before. And the whole program design, I mean, the most vibrant activity was played by Dr. Santipriya Parida from Finland. He actually, the whole credit goes to him, in fact. And conceptualization, and one of the key members is Anjan. He played a very important role. I played a bit of role. Pradipta Mishra in designing the curriculum, designing and conceptualization of the program. Dr. Santipriya, I'm sorry, Dr. Satyaranjan and Dr. Damodar Sahu, and of course, Simon sir, who have listened sometime before. So these are the program committee members who actually conceived, designed, and formulated the whole program curriculum. It was started with a keynote keynote speak by Dr. Patish Kumar, senior research Microsoft and researcher of Microsoft. He is also an adjunct professor at IIT Chennai. When we really, that was the keynote, because it started with a bang. Then the subsequent classes was taken over by different professionals, some of the domain experts of their field. Sorry. Among them was Professor Pittabasupati, okay, and Mr. Somendra Kumar, Abhijit Parida, Atish Sahu, Pradipta Mishra, Kirti Sundar Sahu, Dr. Kirti Sundar Sahu, Dr. Santipriya Parida, Dr. Damodar Sahu, Dr. Satyaranjan Das, Mr. Subdarshi Panda, Mr. Prabhu Teja, Dr. Abhisankar Prasad, Anjan Panda, of course, Mr. Manish Biswai. They have taken classes and they are, I mean, imparted the training in terms of both in theories and hands-on. Really thankful to them for their immense contribution. Nevertheless, the mentors of this program, the whole thing was Mr. Somendra Kumar, Mr. and Dr. Santipriya Parida, Dr. Kusumlata Patyal, Sambit Sekhri, Abhijit Parida, Dr. Kirtan Katwal, Dr. Abhisankar Prasad, Mr. Prabhu Teja, Dr. Kirti Sundar Sahu, and Aditya Kumar. They all are project mentors who guided the students and still guiding the students as far as the projects are concerned. Very innovative, very interesting projects all have been presented. Project ideas has been shared. it definitely helped for both. Both the mentors are beneficial for mentors as well as the project developers. And in the whole session, the key role was played by, as far as session chairs are concerned, who actually coordinated the whole program efficiently. Dr. Suraj Sharma, Sudhan Subala ma'am, Dr. Rakesh Balwantray, Manisha, and Manas Chaudhary, Dr. Manas Chaudhary, Dr. Kalyan Malini Sahu, I'm sorry, Mrs. Kusum Lata Patial, Mrs. Sumita Sahu, Dr. Santipriya Parida, and Mr. Samanuja Das. They have shared the session from the almost all the subsequent days of the program sessions. The whole program coordinator was volunteered by some of the professionals like Pradeep Mahapatra, Mr. Pavitra Naik, Mr. Jogeshwar Sahu, Mr. Diptiranjan Biswal, Mr. Abhijit Parida, Anjan Kumar Panda, Somendra Sahu, Dr. Santipriya, myself, and Manish Bisoi. So, in coordinating and managing the whole show. And we definitely, at the end of the part, we're really thankful to all those participants, in fact, for their warm participation, very professionally, and maintaining decorum throughout the training program, in listening the projects as well as participating, in terms of interaction, in terms of putting up questions, and also with the projects. So if any one of participants can want to say anything at the end or share anything, they can share with us about this project. We'll, at the inset of this program, we'll be distributing certificate. We'll be sending you certificates. Our common certificates will be from the sponsors and the partners, these three organizations, and it will be issued to the keynote speakers, the lecturers, the mentors, as the session chairs, volunteers, and all the participants. We'll have filtered them out, those who have attended all the sessions, from the attendance sheet which they have signed. And one of the key volunteer from our who is supposed to give a talk today, Subita ma'am. He's not.
Santanu is there, so if you allow, she can.
Please. Anyway, also I think ma'am, you can say something. I was trying to put your message. Yes, ma'am.
Maybe you can complete the presentation. Maybe she can join. She can start talking then.
All right.
Someone can send a message also.
Okay, so ma'am will speak herself, and all the resources for future references. You'll get all the references from. We have uploaded almost today, except the today's one. We'll upload it after this session. You can ODISH.ml YouTube channel. All the resources from the starting date till today, almost all the lectures have been uploaded. All the sessions, both in all the sessions day wise, we have uploaded it. You can visit and you can see the recordings. You can and the feedback form which is we have distributed today, we have shared with you today. You can share your feedbacks, share your ideas, your suggestions about the event, and what are the areas where we need to improve ourselves in future programs. And to share your feedback about the summer school can be shared, and what all you expect again in terms of what type of topics, in which topics, what are the and if you want to know, topics should be on some specific domain, you can discuss with us. And as far as our future plans are concerned, definitely we are going to plan a faculty development program after this program, after some days. And you be in touch with us for all our latest updates in terms of webinars, in terms of training programs. We'll update you frequently, periodically. We are also open to project membership, mentorship from different experts. If you have any interesting projects in your mind, if you have any interesting ideas, you can share it with us in terms of mentorship. We are also planning to sign some MOU with state government organizations for AI and data analytics projects. That is what we are planning to. Some of the glimpses that we have captured throughout the session, those moments, those interesting moments of that we have shared with you from Satyaranjan sir, from Prabhu Teja, from other areas. So these are some of the key points. There are some of the interesting slides, shorts, which you can share with us. And that's how we have completed our, not completed, we have taken a pause for some days and we'll again back. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Santanu Babu. So I think without spending too much of time, I would like to request Sumita ma'am for her comments.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a very interesting session we had. Though most of the session I could not hear still properly, but I have been looking at our communication channel, and it is a great initiative for our ODIA and also for the other who have participated. I'm taking this project as a demo or sample project in Engineers Without Border Finland, where I am the chairperson. And I have told already Santi Priya that we will be meeting our board and discussing further what else we can do from Engineers Without Border. And if the model is good, maybe we can use in other country also, and also in Finland. There are this AI and ML skills are needed everywhere. It's not just in Odisha. So we have a lack of expertise in that area, and we need really skilled students or skilled manpower, you can say that way. And according to my work experience and understanding, AI ML is no more a future technology. It is the technology of today. In everywhere you can see from your like healthcare, banking to even disaster management. And fortunately or unfortunately, Odisha comes under highly disaster state. And using this technology, we could really solve real-time problem, but it cannot be solved by 1-2 person. It has to be solved through the community. And through this program, I could see we have the student community, we have the institution, and we have also expertise. So this is a great program, and I wish we should continue similar program in the future. And I thank you everybody to have an interaction with you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the nice, inspiring words. And yes, as you rightly said, it is all about community. Today, increasingly, it is collaboration and communities which are driving even the global economy. So I think we can make a difference here. See, with that, we actually come to the end of this program and the beginning of a long journey. So while we have mapped for 12 months, but in no way it is limited to those 12 months. Hope it will continue for a long time. Of course, our roles will change. What we do now, from basic skill building to advanced skill building to working with the government on policy making, whatever is needed, we'll because see, if you are an organization of a few individual controlled centrally in a top-down approach, then you can say this is our capability, you can do it. But when the whole community is with you, then all of us have different capabilities, and we can all come together to fulfill our common dream, shared goal, which is the development and improvement of Odisha and Odisha and ODIA throughout the world. So with that, I would again quickly like to thank all the participants, the trainer, the volunteer, the mentor, the guest speaker, various session chairs, the educationists who have encouraged students to take part in this and who have promised greater cooperation in the future, organizations like iDream, Sons of Tech have supported it, and not to talk of my colleagues at ODISH.ml, OCF, and Engineers Without Borders. As I said, it is just the beginning, and we'll continue this with through online forums, webinars, virtual meetings, smaller groups within this large community who can interact with each other, and of course, physical sessions. In short, let's make this a moment. We'll also like to invite others, like other university education institutions, entrepreneurs, ODIA professionals in tech, business, and academics globally, and last but not the least, the government of Odisha and government of India to come forward to support us. What we are doing in Odisha should happen. It is not that we want it to happen only in Odisha. As ma'am said, it can happen anywhere in the world. And if others can benefit from our experience and we can benefit from others' experience, so be it. It should actually be a good thing. And that is how we try. It is no more a controlled world where, it is a zero-sum game. All of us can thrive, all of us can thrive. So let's make it a moment. Let's make Odisha the AI capital of India, and let's leverage the power of community to even go beyond that. With that, I would like to thank once again to all the panelists in this session, and I would like to conclude the session. Anyone has any comment? They can put, and of course, Dr. Shantipriya is there. He is the brain, soul, everything behind this program. So he is in a much better position to answer any of the questions than many of us could. But in any case, thanks everyone once again. Over to you, Dr. Shantipriya.
Thank you, Samanaj.
You can take.
Yeah, Amit Kumar.
Okay.
Want to say something, Amit Kumar Malli?
Yeah. Okay. So can you, Mr. Amit?
Can you unmute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Jai Jagannath to us. Yeah. So actually, I'm a participant, and first of all, I want to thank all the management committee, and really it was a very nice and interesting session for me. And also I want to share one thing, that on the first day, on the 18th June, I had this workshop. I got a confirmation mail from confirmation mail. So on that day, my professor scheduled a visit to an industry, but I told sir I have one workshop and I have to attend it. And my professor asked what kind of workshop, and I told him it's AI/ML workshop, and also it's related to computer vision, and it will help me in my project also. Then my professor asked how much money you have paid in that workshop, and I told sir it is free of cost, and it's completely organized by the ODIA people. They're well-established ODIA people. They're in AI/ML field. And my professor replied, "Oh, how nice you ODIA people are! You are like this only." He told. So anyway, I just want to give a little bit brief about me. I purely belongs to mechanical department. My undergraduate as well as my postgraduate, that is I'm doing it's completely mechanical, and I'm working in the product development field. But no doubt, yeah, I have a little application in computer vision. And you see, before mid of 2021, I didn't have any idea about AI/ML because that time I was working in different area. But now this part when came, I started learning. And you can't believe I watch different lectures on YouTube, different research papers, and as you all are researchers here, in research paper they don't give all information. They will put their result, but they don't know how to do this, all these things. So I request, I mail different researchers in YouTube, those who are making lectures. I ask them. So very few have replied me. But after this, now my confidence are multiplied, because because confidence both body. So now I think yes, I can solve my problem, and because there are so many ODIs are working in this field, and apart from the technical knowledge that I have got, I can say I have increased my network. And I know different persons those are working. I can directly mail them and ask some doubts like this. So yeah, so this is the reason why I am very thankful to everyone, means all the committee, program committee, as well as volunteers, and special thanks to Somendra Bhai, because from him only, from Twitter only, I came to know about this. As there is some summer school program. Yeah, thankful. And also another thing on record, I want to say, I want to thank Abhijit Parida sir also, because he also belongs to mechanical engineering. When I saw his lecture, he's also mechanical and he's doing excellent work in this field. So why can't I? And another thing, and also I want to say my fellow participants that just learn one thing, don't learn much more, but learn how to learn. That is my principle only. Whenever I face any problem, I know how to learn this important thing. So anyway, at the end, Jai Jagannath to all, and thank you for this very interesting session.
Thank you. Really inspiring. Anyone else wants to say something?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so if anyone from mentor or participant or organizer, so feel free if you have anything to share. I think we got a lot of feedback, good feedback, and only thing is that I have a little bit complaint about the participant that we have spent a lot of time in adding the project, finding mentors, and even really I push hard to organize connect between the participant and mentors so that they can leverage this platform. So in Discord channel also, I tried many times to say them that why you are not communicating, what's the problem? Okay, let's then sit together in like Amit, and I try to connect with Ketan, who is in Switzerland. So he said, no, I am traveling from US, but I said, okay, you have to find some time. But it's a good that, okay, all the people whom I asked, they never say no. Whatever their busy schedule, they say, okay, we'll do it, no problem. And that's why always I try to ask the students, so why don't you take advantage of these guys, because already they have really solved this particular problem, and researcher who are really doing the good research from in the best lab of the world. So take that advantage, and you can learn many things from them. As already Amit told that, okay, in YouTube video, okay, there will be some concepts you can learn some concept, but if you try to do the real applications people have already done in the day-to-day life, they can guide you in few minutes, which you need to take a lot of time to solve. So that is my suggestion for the students. Even that's why we open still the Discord channel, the project you can, where they can continue. Yeah, so that will be from my side. And if anybody has anything to say, we can.
I think I would like to say the timing was very good. It's a Saturday, Sunday, and the timing with a gap of 1 hour, that was very good timing, very good planning, and it was for free. And it's a very good technical education for non-technical people. So that's a very good thing. I like it. It's a combination of both.
I think that is the beginning. We'll have technical education for non-technical people, non-technical management education for technical people,
yes,
and technical education for technical people. Everything we'll cover as we go forward.
Yeah, that's very good. And it's a nice organization and a nice workshop. So thank you, everybody, for this.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Let's everyone switch on your profile camera so that we can take a snap for our record.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, so few more charts, I think. Yeah, so yeah, feel free to your feedback you can share, but yeah, at the same time you can contact any of these organizer and the mentors, because already they will also happy to guide you, so you can take the advantage of that, because I found it will be very difficult when really we even I remember when I was also doing my MTech dissertation at ISI Calcutta. At that time also, I used to struggle to find the implementation exactly what to do, because okay, in books they will give you only example to solve, but in the real problem it is really hard to solve it. Which I think with a mentorship you can do it very easily, because they can directly tell you that what will happen. Yeah.
Thank you. So it is 4:47 in India. So good.
Yeah, we can.
Any one last comment anyone has? Otherwise, we'll wrap this up. Yeah.
So anybody from participant or organizer or mentor? So.
Okay. I think we'll. So with, as I said, we are not ending this program. We are beginning this program, and thanks for associating, and keep suggestions also. It is not always that you have a specific problem or specific issue at hand and you want solution. Of course, you should do that, but give suggestions also. If something comes to it, might sound very crazy, very silly to you. Maybe someone sees an opportunity there. For example, if we will reach out to university, we will reach out to government. So if there is something that you think they should do, whether it happens or not, I don't think we can keep guarantee or anyone can. But please share your suggestions, because honestly, while some may not like it, but honestly, you guys, especially I'm talking about the participants who are young, they can think far more creatively than people like us. And while we have experience, but original ideas that are disruptive, that can completely change something, can come from you guys. So please don't. And this is a very close community that we have. So there is nothing to fear, nothing to lose. Please do share. And no idea is bad. Ideas, some ideas which look seemingly is like a crazy, silly idea, might actually create a whole lot of opportunity. Please do share. Please be vibrant. Please talk to each other, and let's talk to each other. Let's be in touch across various forums, other social media also. Amit talked about Twitter. So I'm almost all the time on Twitter, though you may not know, because my handle is Odia Culture and not really on my name. So and in LinkedIn, wherever we can, in physical community, wherever we can help each other, let's help each other. And I think we are all bound by our love for Odisha, our language Odia, and have a ball to one and only Lord Jagannath. So let's make the entire thing a success and do much more beyond what at present we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So we come to an end. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Santana.
Thank you.
The next meeting. Thank you.